Welcome everybody. So I don't know if you want to do this in English or Spanish. You're fluent in Spanish?
Yeah, I mean, if we all speak Spanish, we could do it in Spanish, right?
All right.
Yeah. However, I mean,
All
we
right.
can.
So,
We'll
la
do it
i-
in English.
all right. La idea de este panel es hablar sobre extranjeros que encuentran a Argentina como su hogar. Es decir, argentinos que han decidido huir de Europa, de Estados Unidos y que encuentran en Argentina el nuevo destino. Así que tenemos a dos que ya están viviendo aquí, nos van a contar sus historias. Tenemos a un tuitero muy famoso. ¿Quién conoce aquí a BowTiedMara? Miren, mi madre está fascinada con BowTiedMara. A ver, levanten la mano. Muy bien, exacto. Un capo absoluto. Un placer conocerte por primera vez.
Igualmente.
Y lo mismo digo. Y bueno, también tenemos a Trevor, que es de Estados Unidos. BowTied es de Holanda, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Trevor de Estados Unidos está viviendo en Córdoba, así que es un cordobés ahora.
Sí, papá.
Así es.
Cordobés.
And we also have Sean Chenot from Canada, right? Chenot from Canada, California. Sorry for that. He's wanting to come to Argentina. He's actually searching for a citadel, a place in Argentina. So, well, let's start at the beginning with a brief introduction and your reasons of why you chose Argentina. We don't have much time. We have like 20 minutes.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, my reasons were initially very different than what I actually found here. I was always very interested in Latin America and traveled around a bit before deciding on Argentina. And before I finally made the shift, my personal story is actually also tied to Brazil, because my ex-wife, she's from there, but she was studying here at the UBA, so we ended up living here, and after we split, I stayed, and I've never looked back. So it's really hard to explain, but the kind of freedom that you feel here in Argentina is something that I just don't see in Holland, for example, or in the US. Whenever I come back to Holland, my parents tell me what kind of new regulations are in order.
Can you give us some examples of things that are going on there?
Well, I think the last time they were talking about chips in the garbage containers. So the garbage trucks could actually scan how many times they took out the garbage so they could tax them more. Like that kind of level of insane.
They're controlling how many times you put the garbage in the
Yes.
trash can.
Yes. So, because of course you're polluting the environment, it's all included with, this climate obsession. And that's basically all people think about, and they start, evolving their lives around with all kinds of regulation. And I don't see that here, which I think is a nice breeze of fresh air.
So you find more freedom here. In
Yeah.
This.
And I think that's thanks to the chaotic situation, the lack of government enforcement, which can be a good and a bad thing. So yeah, I do hope that things improve, but at the same time, I also don't want to be that Argentina converts into a second Brussels. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Right. What's your take, Trevor?
So I originally moved down here in 2009. I'm actually half Argentinian. My dad's from Córdoba, so I'm a miti. And I moved down here to learn Spanish, actually. Despite the fact that my dad was my high school Spanish teacher, we never spoke Spanish at home. So I thought, what better place to go and learn than to move down to Argentina. This most recent time, I moved to Argentina for the third time to launch a Bitcoin education initiative in Córdoba. I've been to over 90 countries, and I've landed on Argentina. We're in the right spot.
Why?
Why? More than anything, currently speaking, thanks to the currency competition in Argentina. I know that this is the future of Bitcoin. The adoption is going to be through the roof, and the best money is going to win out, and I want to do my part to promote that.
Thank you, Trevor.
Yeah.
Do you speak Cordobés?
Se viene. Cordobés. Me pegó la tornada un toquecito.
Bien, bien. All right, John, do you want to tell us your story of why you're deciding to come to Argentina and find the next citadel here?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually spent about 6 months in Miami, and I actually made a lot of friends who were Argentinians while I was there. And it just so happened that a lot of the Argentinians I was meeting were beautiful women who just like something about.
We actually met the same
Argentina.
woman, the same woman.
I'm sorry?
The same woman that I met in Buenos Aires, you met in Miami.
Yes.
And the day I
We
met
have mutual friends.
Yeah, the day I met John, he had a date before coming to the dinner, right? And you showed me. No, I went out with a lawyer that is a classical liberal, and I said, "Is it Sofia?"
Yeah. Our circles, our Venn diagrams intersected.
Yeah, exactly.
At a certain point.
So
No, but so
what are the reasons that you're choosing Argentina?
yeah. Well, I'm exploring Argentina as we are exploring Argentina as a community, as a group of friends who want to find places where we can do the things that we love, where we can live life freely, where we can connect with nature and be connected to our food source as well. I think food is really important to us, food sovereignty, food quality, and as well as, there's a number of reasons, but our lifestyle is very out in nature. We want to be active, we want to be out hiking, we want to be, many of us are surfers, so we want to explore some of the maybe uncharted surf territories in Patagonia, hopefully. But a lot of it really just comes down to freedom in a broader sense. And what BowTiedMara was saying earlier is really true about a lot of these other Western countries that, yeah, the U.S. once was a bastion of freedom. And, it has the U.S. Constitution, the Declaration of Independence to show that. But if you look at the vestige of what it is today, it's just going perhaps the wrong direction. Whereas
So
Argentina is kind of like on this
Right.
side of the
So
diagram.
you believe that the U.S. is coming down? What do you think is going to happen next week? Is it going to crash or?
I mean, there's a reason we're down here to kind of watch it all play out. I hope. I have lots of, obviously, family and friends and everyone. I'm very attached to the U.S. and I wish the best for the country, and I want to be a part of bringing the freedom message of Bitcoin to the U.S. and to as many people as possible. But in the meantime, we also have to be concerned with our own lifestyles and preserving our way of life. So Argentina is set apart from, we took a 10-hour flight from Dallas down here, so it's quite far away from a lot of any kind of kinetic risks that might exist in that part of the world.
At least we are in about the same time zone, so that's the good
Yeah.
side. Not so much jet lag. So I want to continue with BowTied, right? What's it been for you to become like an influencer on Twitter and connecting the European culture with the Argentines' idiosyncrasies, the things that you're finding, that you're enjoying, and that you point out, like you post videos of how Argentines have this Italian accent, and that it was like from the 90s, and
Yeah.
you're following that. So what do you see there?
Well, language is always evolving, and I see, of course, that in Argentina as well. I do see a lot of new influences from other Spanish-speaking regions, but yeah, that's just a natural evolvement of the culture and of language. In terms of comparing it to a very strict, kind of rigid, rule-following European lifestyle, this is the complete opposite, and it's not going to be for everybody, because some people just won't feel confident enough or relaxed enough to be able to deal with that. It took me a couple of years to really get into that groove of like, okay, it's another trámite, don't worry about it, it's going to be fine. but yeah, it does take some time to get used to.
Right, right. So well, we have a very few minutes. So I would like to ask you if you want to give a message to the Argentines about something that you see in Argentina that perhaps they are not seeing, and you want them to see.
Yeah, as we all know, Americans are insufferable optimists. So I approach my life down here in Argentina with optimismo infumable. Okay, so down here we've got all the pieces to the puzzle. We have energy independence, we have food independence. We're in the land where the currency competition is well underway, and I'm more bullish than ever on Argentina. We have all the right pieces to encourage and foster personal freedom amongst not only Argentinians, but anyone that chooses to become Argentinian. As we like to say, el argentino nace donde quiera. So it's such a wonderful, wonderful, welcoming country, and all the pieces are in place for us.
Yeah, my message for the Argentinian people would be really to embrace this opportunity that you have. Right now, there's a very clear message that's being broadcasted to the world that Milei is broadcasting, and this is an opportunity for you to grab hold of your freedom, to really move forward with what a lot of the principles that your country was founded upon, and also recognize that with that freedom isn't everything. Freedom is the baseline. Once you have that, then it's up to you to create the kind of life that you want to live, and the kind of environment that you want your kids to live in, the culture, and everything like that. So with great freedom comes great responsibility, obviously, and so take hold of that, and then recognize that the work is just beginning. If you have a liberated populace and everyone is geared up and ready to go, the work is just beginning to build what potentially could be an absolutely amazing place and new light for freedom in this globe, in this world in which there truly is, dire consequences of what's going on. What I see to be a spiritual battle between good and evil. So my hope is that this is a land of free people who continue to grow and work towards that.
Yeah, I would just say I think it's very important for Argentines to realize what an awesome country they have. Like many times you'll see, no, pero esto es una mierda, me quiero ir, me quiero rajar de la mierda. Like that, no. And they always ask me, che, ¿por qué te fuiste de Holanda, loco? Vos estás loco. And I just right now it's just like, porque Argentina es el mejor país del mundo.
¡Viva con carajo! Vamos.
So yeah, that's just, I know it's very tough because when I started here, I started in pesos. I had just a little bit of savings, and I had to come by at a peso salary, and it was absolute horror. So afterwards, I switched to online income from the US, and of course that makes it a lot easier to live in Argentina. But I think with the economic changes that we're seeing now, this will improve very quickly. So yeah, that's don't give up and keep fighting for a better Argentina.
All right, great. Thank you, BowTiedMara. So I also want to tell a last message before we go. This January I was here in Argentina, and one friend asked me, can you show around to a friend that is going Buenos Aires and take him to dinner? Yeah, sure, why not? So an American came, and then an American brought John, right? And then we got a Swiss guy, and then two more core developers of Bitcoin. So pretty soon I was traveling around and showing like a group of 8, 10 foreigners Argentina around. And by the time it came for their flights to go to the US back, they were, no, let's postpone it 1 week. When the time came for that, no, let's postpone it another week, right? And so on. And then they started saying, I could live here like for 6 months per year, do it 2 years, and then be an Argentinian, right? Have an Argentinian passport, a citizenship. And it was blowing my mind, right? Americans, United States people wanting to have an Argentine passport. So there's a possibility next week, there's US elections, that if there one particular candidate wins that is anti-crypto, anti-Bitcoin, anti-everything, we're going to see a flood of Americans wanting to come to Argentina. So I hope that everybody here invites them and welcomes them and takes the opportunity. Thank you very much.